Zytrana was a war-born daughter of the Tarvaxi matron clans, a species of towering armored females bred for conquest. Her people had carved out an empire with claw and plasma, their hardened carapaces and superior strength making them feared throughout 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. Their disdain for weakness was absolute. And to them, no species embodied weakness more than humans. So when Zytrana was assigned as a diplomat guard liaison to a fledgling human colony on the edge of Tarvaxi-controlled space, she was not pleased. "Why must I be stationed with the soft ones?" she growled as her cruiser approached the blue and green orb of Horizon 6. "They shelter under shields and codes. They breed cowardice by protecting the unworthy." Her handler, a senior matron, grunted in amusement through the hololink. "You are to observe, not conquer. There are whispers of war rising in the rimward zones. The humans must be gauged. And besides," she smirked, her mandibles flexing, "perhaps you'll find their ways enlightening." Zytrana scoffed. "Doubtful." Upon landing, Zytrana was greeted by the colony's human security officer, Commander Jack Reyes. He was lean but muscular, his eyes sharp, his voice calm. "Welcome to Horizon 6, he said, offering a handshake. "We appreciate the Tarvaxi cooperation." Zytrana looked at his outstretched hand as if it were a squirming insect. "Do you believe I need your protection?" "No," he replied coolly. "But it's our protocol to protect everyone within colony walls." That made her laugh, a deep, serrated sound. "Protection breeds weakness, human. Your species swaddles its young instead of throwing them into fire." He arched an eyebrow. "And yet here you are, voluntarily under our weak care." She bristled. But over the next few weeks, Zytrana stalked the perimeter, inspecting their defenses, critiquing their drills, and ridiculing every soft-shelled safety measure. "Your soldiers use warning shots. Your medics hover like brooding hens. Even your combat suits have temperature comfort settings." She often targeted Jack with her jabs, finding him too calm, too measured. But he never rose to her bait. Instead, he offered a quiet confidence that infuriated her more than open defiance would have. What annoyed her most was how the colonists liked him. Civilians trusted him. Children ran to him. Even when he wasn't looking for respect, he commanded it. "Why do they follow you?" she snarled once after a town meeting. "You have no armor, no fangs, no scars worth noting." He simply smiled. "Maybe strength isn't just about fighting." Zytrana sneered and stomped away. But part of her, deep down, wondered if he might be onto something. Months passed. The border tensions grew worse. Pirate attacks increased. And then came the signal. The Shrouded Fong, a brutal mercenary fleet known for raising unaligned colonies, was inbound. The colony scrambled for lockdown. Evacuation wasn't an option. Defenses were minimal. The outpost was mostly scientists, workers, and families. Zytrana watched as humans leapt into action. Jack coordinated everything with precise authority. Shields activated. Turrets powered. Bunkers opened. Civilians were guided underground. Zytrana stood at the wall, arms crossed. "Your little ant colony prepares for doom." "We might die," Jack said, checking the status displays. "But not before we try to protect what matters. You could flee. And leave them. Not an option." She stared at him. This human who had no natural armor, no venomous claws, no biological advantage. And yet something in his stance told her he was unbreakable. The first wave hit hard. Fong fighters screamed through the atmosphere. Explosions rocked the colony. Jack led the counterstrike, side by side with Zytrana, surprising her with his precision and grit. When a wall section fell, Jack ran into the breach with nothing but a plasma rifle and a shield emitter. Zytrana followed, not because of orders, but because something about the way he fought made her want to. They fought back to back. And when Zytrana took a slash to the leg from a pirate's blade, Jack grabbed her and hauled her behind cover. "You're bleeding," he said, slapping a med patch on her chitin. "I can still fight." "I know," he said, "but you don't have to alone." In that moment, something cracked in Zytrana. Not her armor, but the wall around her pride. The battle lasted 3 days. The colony barely held. Reinforcements arrived in the nick of time. The Fong retreated. Jack was injured, a plasma burn to the chest. Zytrana visited him in recovery. "You're reckless," she growled. He coughed a laugh. "You're welcome." She hesitated, then touched his arm gently. "You protected me." He gave her a tired smile. "That's what we do." And somehow, in a way neither of them could fully explain, that was the moment Zytrana fell for the human she once mocked. Ending. 9 months later, Zytrana stood at the same landing pad she had first arrived on. But she was changed. No longer clad in pure battle armor, she wore a ceremonial Tarvaxi matriarch vest with human adornments, a hybrid of cultures. In her arms, she held a small, swaddled form. Child. Half human. Half Tarvaxi. The pregnancy had shocked both empires. Biologists had theories. Theorists wrote papers. But none of it mattered to Zytrana. All she knew was that she had once mocked human protection, called it weakness. And now, she looked down at the child in her arms, a baby with soft, pale skin and small, budding chitinous patches. A child born of 2 species that were never meant to mix, never meant to care. And yet they did. She looked over at Jack, who walked out of the medical bay, still limping slightly from his old wound but smiling as he approached. "You ready to go home?" Zytrana nodded slowly. "Funny," she said. "I once thought protection made you weak." Jack raised an eyebrow. "And now?" She looked at the baby again, cradled against her armored chest. "Now I know, true protection is what gives you something worth fighting for." Jack put his arm around her, careful not to disturb the child. "You're not the only one who learned something." They boarded the shuttle together, heading for the diplomatic cruiser that would take them to Earth, where a new council awaited them, eager to meet the product of unity between 2 worlds once divided by pride and misunderstanding. And as the stars stretched into lines, Zytrana whispered to the baby, "You'll be stronger than both of us, not because of war, but because you'll be protected, loved, raised by those who chose to stand together." 9 months ago, she had laughed at the idea. Now, she knew better.